Hello, everyone. Welcome to this team training webinar for view-only users. My name is Peter, and I'm a technical support associate here at Upkeep. Today, we're going to dive into the ins and outs of this product for this user type on the web application. So, for our agenda today, we'll go over what the role of a view-only user is, and then I'll cover general navigation so that you're fully equipped. And finally, I'll provide some support resources at the very end. Let's talk about role overview. So to start off, view-only users are very similar to requesters in the sense that they can submit work order requests and check the status on them. Like requesters, they're a free user and do not require a paid user license. However, the key difference here is that view-only users can see most data on the app like an admin user. So they can see all work orders, all locations, or even assets, to name a few. Now that we know what the role of this user is, let's go over how to navigate the app as a view-only user. So the first thing to know is when you get set up as this user type, your team admin will send you an email invite where you can set up your password. And from there, you can log in with your email as your username and your newly created password. All right, let's dive in right into the app. This is how the interface will look like for a view-only user. Now, when you're first starting off, maybe something you want to do first is you want to click on that profile icon on the top right-hand corner. This is where you can click on View Profile. You can manage your email preferences. If you want them on, you can just toggle that option right there. You can even check mark these and choose specific email notifications you want. If I click on that three dots right there, I can click on Edit Profile. This is where you can change your name, your email, or even phone number. Once you make those changes, you can hit save. And then once that's done, let's go straight into the navigation bar here. All right, so let's start with work orders. So view-only users can see all work orders created by every team member, whether it's from an admin, other admins, or any technician user. You can see all of that here. You can use this search bar here to look up work orders by its specific work order title. You can use these things called primary filters to look up work orders. Let's say I wanted to look up even my completed work orders. And I can just click that and have that check mark. I'll see those as well. Let's say if I'm filtering a lot, I want to save a specific filter. Then I can click on Save Filter. And I'm going to title this All Work Orders because I want to see all of them, not just the open ones. I can click on Save Filter. And if I click Reset Filter here, what that'll do is if I click on Quick Filters here and click on All Work Orders, you can have that specific filter you want that maybe you'll see and need to use daily in and out. If I click here, this is where you can also use your additional filters. If I want to narrow down the search my work orders by a specific part or even by its completed date, then this is what this is really useful for. I can also do things like seeing my work orders as a calendar view. Seeing those due work orders this way can also help to see things more visually. All right, so moving on, let's move on to locations. So this is pretty much where you'll see your primary and sublocations. Primary means it's the main building, such as building 1. And then sublocations, if you click on this downward arrow, there could be like a zone or a component to the main building. So zone A, building 1, these are sublocations. So this is good for if you want to click into a location and you want to see some of its other details. So for instance, I'm going to click into building 1 zone A. This is where you can see asset or part information that's related to a specific location. Let's move on now. So assets are essentially the equipment or machinery that the admin manages on the account. And as a view-only user, you can see all of that information as well. And similarly to locations, you have what are called your uh, parent assets. These are just the main assets, and components to that are called child assets. So if you click into each one, you can see a full range of information. Perhaps you want to see its associated parts or even things like work orders. It has all of that right here. All right, moving on from there. This is your parts and inventory. This is where you can view your part information. If I click into one right here, I can view things such as its cost or perhaps its quantity. And then moving on from there, we have something called meters. This is where you track specific measures. And as a view-only user, maybe this is good if you're curious about wanting to know the meter readings that your team has been entering. You can do things like clicking on the history part to see when the meter readings have been entered and what kind and which value. So examples of these could be a truck mileage, the number of hours on an equipment that it's been in use. But this is essentially the meter section. And just like with some of these other sections we saw, you can search it by name, or you can also filter them as well. And now moving on, these other tabs such as people and teams, this can only be fully viewed as an admin. So if you click into someone else's user, then you'll have this permission denied response. So just keep that in mind. Moving on from that, we have our vendors and customers. This is what you can see in full detail as a view-only user. So if you click on things like supply store, you can see the full range of information for your different vendors or even your customers. So as you can see, all that information will appear there. All right, so I skipped request earlier, but let's go into this now. Now, the key difference here with an admin user is a view-only user can create work order requests, but in the sense of viewing them, they cannot see all work order requests from all different users. So let me show you an example of that. Here, this view, I'm logged in as an admin. Now, I can see all work order requests from a technician, another requester, or pretty much from everyone. But going back to my view only view, I can only see the ones that I've submitted or created. So let's go ahead and just create a request really quick. Again, it's mainly requesters who are creating test requests, but in the case that an admin asks you as a view only user to do one, then you can go ahead and do so. And you can use some of the filtering options to see maybe ones that you've submitted in the past or maybe have been declined. So that's a good option there to utilize the filtering. And finally, if you click here where it says contact us, you can get in touch with our technical support team and you can ask any general questions or if you have troubleshooting or just need any help. Finally, here are some resources we provide for added guidance in case you need help or more questions. But that wraps up this webinar, and I hope this was helpful. Talk to you soon.